The fans arrived early to the pit this morning to grill out and prepare for one of the biggest rivalries in Cincinnati, Colerain and Elder. We've got Tyon Dixon for Colerain, verbal commit to Louisville. Alex Welch, a verbal commit to Notre Dame. Who's next?
All of a sudden, you start to have the feeling that Tim Tebow is going to will his team to a victory.
Now he throws it down the left side, has a man open. It is caught, touchdown.
Just caught, a juggling catch by Bryant, and he's into the end zone. The fourth of the night for Des Bryant. 25, 20, get in the end zone, touchdown, A.J. Green.
Touchdown, guess who? Green.
Double coverage, A.J. Green with the catch.
And on to the field come the Elder Panthers. Welcome to the Old Spice High School Showcase presented by the U.S. Marine Corps. Today, it's Colerain taking on number 3 Elder at the pit from Cincinnati, Ohio. And hello there, everybody. Alongside the Director of National Recruiting for ESPN, Tom Luganville, I am Justin Kutcher. And Tom, when these two teams play, people show up. Usually it's in the postseason. Back in 2001 at Paul Brown Stadium. Are you ready for this? 47,743 people were there for that game. Then the next year at Nippert Stadium on the campus of the University of Cincinnati, over 30,000 people were at that game. So needless to say, we expect a sold-out crowd, over 13,000 here today. Tom, with that said, usually a postseason rivalry. How do you prepare now for game 2 in this rivalry?
Well, Justin, you prepare like it is a playoff game, quite simply. Make no mistake about it, both Elder and Colerain have become accustomed to not only meeting, but exceeding expectations. A high standard has been set for both of these programs. So when you get a matchup like this early in the year, it's a measuring stick for what it's going to take to not only sustain success, but to have an opportunity in the playoffs to play each other once again.
These two teams have very contrasting styles on the offensive side of the ball. Time now for our Nike Pro Combat Game Changers. And for Colerain, you see these three-headed monster.
It is a three-headed monster for their triple option attack. Greg Tabor, the quarterback, 16 touchdowns a year ago. You see the total yards. He's an engineer of this rushing train. Trayon Durham, over 1,000 yards a year ago as a sophomore in 2008. And Tyler Williams, almost 1,300 yards as a sophomore again. Just a junior this year, but not a great week a week ago, and he has got to get back on track. Don't be surprised if we see Williams at quarterback a bit to allow Colerain to get their best 3 runners on the field at the same time.
On the other side for the Elder Panthers, you got the quarterback Mark Miller and the tight end Alex Welch.
Yeah, contrasting offensive styles between these two teams. Mark Miller was the offensive MVP in the state of Ohio as a junior last year. He will operate a multiple attack. You may see some pistol formation out of the shotgun. And then Alex Welch, the big tight end, a massive target in the passing game, verbally committed to Notre Dame, but ideally a better blocker at this stage. Count on him to be a major force in the running game for the Elder Panthers.
This crowd is ready. Over 13,000 people have crammed into the pit. Tony Miliano, the kickoff for Elder. That one will sail out of the end zone. We'll start on the 20 for Colerain. Greg Tabor, the quarterback.
As you see there, excellent runner, a really good athlete because of the offensive scheme and the triple option attack. He's an inexperienced passer, but has an opportunity, I believe, to become an FBS level player as an athlete type of player. Maybe a safety, maybe a veteran, a utility defensive type player.
And it's pretty safe to say you're going to see a lot of run in this game for Colerain, not a lot of passing. You've got Trayon Durham and Tyler Williams in the backfield. Hand off to Durham. Nope, it's a pitch to Tyler Williams. They got me already.
It's going to be all about discipline, assignment football defensively for Elder, and it's going to be about patience offensively for Colerain. Have the ability to methodically move the ball down the field in the run game.
Lineups are scrolling across the top of your screen. Just Trayon Durham in the backfield right now. Quarterback Tabor keeps it, and he gets all the way into the secondary out the 39-yard line. A 20-yard gain for Greg Tabor.
See Greg Tabor right here off of the dive fake and keeps it himself, blocking down within the offensive front, creating a nice running lane for Tabor. Number 23, Alex Taylor on defense, has to run him down from his secondary position.
A fumble on the pitch. The ball was on the ground. It is marked down at the 34-yard line. The head coach for the Colerain Cardinals, Tom Bolden, in his third season. It's a bit of a family affair there in Colerain. His brother is the athletic director. His nephew is one of the linebackers, to sophomore.
There shouldn't be any problems with assignments within that family, Justin. At least when they get on the practice field and they go home.
Tyler Williams splits out wide. Trayon Durham, the big junior in the backfield with Greg Tabor. Williams in motion, the pitch to Williams, fumble, and it's recovered by Brad DePoli. Jake Fishburne forced the fumble, DePoli with the recovery.
Well, Colerain brings number 1, Tyler Williams, in motion. Tabor pitches it, but number 21, Jake Fishburne, from his corner position, he completely bypasses the wide receiver he's responsible for covering, peeks inside, sees the pitch, and makes a huge play, potentially a difference-making play here in the first quarter.
Ball on the 31-yard line for Elder. Mark Miller in the shotgun. They will pass. Miller going deep. His man O'Connor. No! It hits the ground. Tim O'Connor, a commit to Indiana, almost made a great catch.
Yeah, you get the big turnover there in the first quarter. Why not take a shot right off the bat? See if you can get a big one, and a tremendous effort by Tim O'Connor. Just can't quite wrangle it in, and a nicely thrown ball over the shoulder on behalf of Mark Miller, the quarterback for Elder.
Ben Cafaro, direct snap to him in the backfield. And Cafaro picks up 2 on the run.
See Mark Miller there, excuse me, Justin. You know, makes a lot of plays. Isn't very big, but he's got intangibles. He's accurate. You know, you're not the offensive MVP in the state of Ohio for high school football as a junior if you're not respected by the people that you play against. Obviously, he's been a very productive guy.
3rd down and 8. Miller has it come out of his hand. Loose ball. Still loose, and it looks like it may have been Robert Williams who came down on it. The Colerain players say they've got it. And it was Robert Williams who came out of the pile, a loss of 16. Woo.
This ball just seems to come out of Mark Miller's hand right there. Yeah, very, very easily slips right out of his hand. And, you know, something to be noted from a coaching standpoint. When you recover a fumble, you have got to cradle that in what's called a prenatal position. You can't be pouncing all over it.
Corey Mason punts it. Tyler Williams is deep. Fair catch. And that will bring us to our first break, a 38-yard punt. A near turnover for Elder. No score, 8:45 of the first. ESPN's presentation of the Old Spice High School Showcase, presented by the United States Marine, is brought to you by Old Spice. Different scents for different gents. And the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. The Colerain fans that made the trip here to Elder in the pit. Colerain will have the ball at their own 7. Tyler Williams and Trayon Durham in the backfield. Durham the fullback. Tabor keeps it, doesn't get much.
You know, this offense is so specific to assignments in detail, in repetition, and it's so difficult to prepare for it defensively, particularly when you don't see it very often. That's the big argument when teams have got to play at Georgia Tech at the collegiate level. For those who view the Ohio State-Navy matchup yesterday afternoon and the fits that Navy gave Ohio State.
Tabor to Durham. Durham gets into the secondary and the shoestring tackle by Jake Lindsey. A 25-yard gain for Durham.
Yeah, the soft-spoken junior doesn't run soft-spoken. He's the load of this offense. Durham's got some real weight. He's got some lower body strength. He can wear you down over the course of 4 quarters. And now this offense seems to be getting into a little bit of rhythm. Once he gets into the second level, you're going to have to really work to get him down.
Tabor keeps it. And there are the problems that are persisting here now for Elder. Tabor with a big run finally goes down at the 41. 29-yard gain for the quarterback, Greg Tabor.
Watch the defense to your left here. Everybody collapse inside for the dive. And Greg Tabor properly reads the end man of the line of scrimmage, pulls the ball, and he's off to the races with no secondary run support on defense to handle the quarterback responsibility.
Those are Tabor's number for last year. He's got 44 yards on the ground already here in the first quarter. Hand off to Durham, a pickup of 1.
Well, Coach Tom Bolden on Colerain's sideline said emphatically this week, we cannot turn over the football. It's what cost us a week ago in their loss to St. Xavier, which is the powerhouse program in the state of Ohio. Secondly, they've got to keep the ball away from Elder. That's why long drives like this that they can sustain keeps the Elder offense off the field, but points have got to result from these long drives.
And on the flip side, Elder's defensive philosophy is bend, but don't break. Second down and 9. Tabor to throw. Complete to Williams, but that's a loss. 5-yard loss. One of those where Tyler Williams maybe say, hey, let's not catch this one.
Yeah, it's the second tackle we've seen number 23, Alex Taylor for Elder, make from his secondary position. The one thing I'm noticing about the Panthers defensively, they react to the football quickly. They are on top of the ball. The minute it is run, the minute it is thrown, we got a lot of purple shirts around the ball.
Third down and 14. We just saw a pass right there. Alex Taylor, his favorite athlete, Adrian Peterson. Will Tabor be forced to pass here on third down? He does, and that is incomplete. Sets up a punt.
Justin, the positive that comes from a drive like that does result in a punt. I think it's Jim Tressel at Ohio State that said it best. The punt's the best play in football. It's now going to set Elder back and create a field position advantage for Colerain defensively.
Greg Tabor will punt. Jake Fishburne is deep for Elder. Flag on the play. Looks like a delay of game. ESPNU 150 now scrolling across the top of your screen.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down and still a punting situation. Tabor's punt is a good one, but it bounces on the goal line into the end zone. A 38-yard punt for Greg Tabor. We have 5:48 to go here in the first quarter. No score. It's a Sunday. It's not a school day. It doesn't matter. These kids are out supporting their classmates. No score, Colerain and Elder. Elder, location right here in Cincinnati, nicknamed the Panthers. They got a nice Panther here at the stadium. Founded in 1922. It's a private school. First football season back in 1923. 6 cities titles, 4 regional titles, 2 state titles, coming in 02 and 03. Look at the alum, Ricky Brown, class of 2002. Eric Wood, class of 2004. You can see those state championship rings in the picture. And this stadium, this is one of the best environments I've ever seen for high school football, even college football. The handoff to Adam Brown, and Brown picks up 2. There's the head coach for the Elder Panthers, Doug Ramsey, in his 12th season. 110 and 35, 2 state titles.
A lot of coaches would like to have that record next to their name. He's done a wonderful job here. Obviously, you look at the surroundings, the resources he has to be successful. Tremendous amount of pride within this program.
Robert Williams in the backfield with Mark Miller. Miller has plenty of room and time. Throws, and it's off the hands of Selby Chidemo. Third down and 8 for Elder. And at this point now, you got to get some yards, set up field position.
You really do. And both these teams really kind of feeling each other out to this point. But they've got to at least try and get half of this back, if not the first down, from a field position standpoint, as you mentioned.
Tim O'Connor near side. He's the go-to receiver. Flag on the play. It is completed. A 10-yard gain, but a flag on the play. Holding against Elder. Negates the completion from Miller to Tim O'Connor.
This flag thrown by the umpire, who's standing right there at the linebacker level, obviously seeing something.
Holding offense.
Obviously seeing something right in the interior to the left side of your screen. 62, number 65 right there. Michael McGuire, 6'3", 255-pound senior with the hold. And anytime you get locked up with your arms and their arms entangled, you're probably going to draw some hankies.
Third down and 18. Four receivers for Elder. Miller buying some time, floats it up in the air, looking for Cafaro, and it's completed. A 36-yard completion on 3rd and long.
Well,
Just a Hail Mary.
Yeah, it was a Hail Mary, and And essentially what this throw amounts to is what would have been a punt opportunity. So why not take a chance? He throws this one off for grabs. Mark Miller does not plant his feet well. And you see number 5, Ben Cafaro, just elevate. And number 21 defensively, Chris Dukes for Colerain, one of their best secondary players, just mistimes his jump.
Hand off to Adam Brown, tries to go up the middle. He's got nothing there. Jake Blust on the tackle.
See Mark Miller here, right as he plans to throw, you see his right foot slip in the turf a little bit, causes that ball to hang up, and number 21 just does not time the jump well. Chris Dukes at 5'9", 160 pounds, matched up against another 5'9" prospect in Ben Cafaro, number 5 for Elder, who makes a spectacular grab.
Last week, Cafaro, you'll see him set up at quarterback and running back as well. Miller scrambles. He's going to tuck it and run, and he dives. A pickup of 6. It's funny, you can see the contrasting styles. You think Tabor would dive?
No, Tabor doesn't have that in his element, but they don't need Tabor to throw the football. This football team needs Mark Miller there under center to be able to move the ball through the air, and he's not going to take any chances. And it was a smart decision right there by Miller not to throw the ball up for grabs and to just take what the defense gives him.
3rd down and 4, empty backfield. Miller to Cafaro, and Cafaro gets enough for a 1st down. 6-yard gain. ESPN kicks a college football doubleheader on Labor Day. At 4, it's a battle of Big East rivals as the Cincinnati Bearcats take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Then at 8, it's a Sunshine State rivalry as the Miami Hurricanes face Bobby Bowden's number 18 Florida State Seminoles for ACC bragging rights. College football presented by Cars.com and college football primetime on ESPN Monday as part of Dick's Sporting Goods kickoff week. Hand off to Brown. Brown cuts it back. And Darius Godfrey takes him down.
Well, Miami, Florida State tomorrow night. You could argue 2 of those teams have some of the toughest schedules in all of college football. And Florida State so far, you look at the states by which their verbal commitments have come from. Just 1 from the state of Florida. Then you look at the position. Front 7 players. That's where the best teams in college football are built, folks. Within the defensive front and the offensive front. So far, Florida State making some inroads there in the 2010 class.
You can see Corey Miller on ESPNU on October 2nd. Brown again on the handoff. Looking for some room, doesn't have any. Loses one on the play. Andre Jones in on the tackle.
You know, Doug Ramsey, the head coach at Elder, he wasn't kidding when he told us this week that they were a multiple set offense. So far, we have seen them come out in so many different personnel groupings, whether it's been 2 backs and a tight end, 1 back, 2 tight ends, no backs, what have you. Just trying to get a feel defensively for what Colerain's going to do, how they're going to react, and then that gives them an edge to figure out what they want to do throughout the rest of the game.
3rd down and 3. They're 2 for 2 so far on 3rd down conversions on this drive. Miller to Shelby Chademo. Chademo stays on his feet. What a second effort. Gets a huge block and converts yet again on 3rd down. 16-yard gain. Chademo run out of bounds by Darius Godfrey, but a flag is on the play. We already saw 1 3rd down brought back from a flag.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance.
Shelby Chademo does a nice job, first and foremost, just concentrating on the football as he's absorbing the hit from number 7, Javonte Harrison there, who really just does a poor job of finishing the play. Make the tackle. It's a 1-yard gain. Then you've got the face mask coming on top of it. It's a double negative, if you will. And then Chademo does the rest. Does a nice job turning the corner and gaining positive yardage.
Selby Chademo plays in the baseball team, hoping to play in college. 6 feet, 180-pound senior, came over to the States from Africa with his mother. Speaks 6 different languages.
Got one on you.
More than one.
You're up to 5 now, aren't you?
Close. Brown and Williams in the backfield with Mark Miller. The handoff to Chidemo, cuts back, but he is taken down by Andrew Smith, a loss of 2.
Well, Andrew Smith has been all over the place defensively for this football team, and Elder has had a very difficult time blocking him. He's garnered some double-team attention. He's really explosive. He's strong at the point of attack, and he has been in the backfield quite a few times in the first quarter here.
40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 2nd and goal. 11th play of the drive here for the Elder Panthers. Miller back to throw. And now he's going to have to run for it. And Miller goes out at the 5. Andrew Smith yet again there on the tackle.
Well, you hear the crowd not too pleased with the officials on that play. Is the left side of the offensive line for Elder. Number 62, Pete Bachman. Number 65, Michael McGuire. Having a difficult time blocking Colerain. A lot of people in this crowd wanted a few holding calls there.
Sets up 3rd and goal from the 5. Elder 3 for 4 in the game on 3rd down conversions, but 3 for 3 on this drive. Miller looking for O'Connor, and it's incomplete. Good defense by Chris Dukes.
And Mark Miller's going to wish he had this throw back. If he throws this ball over the outside shoulder of number 3, Tim O'Connor, he's got himself a touchdown. Instead, he throws the ball to the inside, which plays right into the hands of number 21, Chris Dukes, who does a nice job tracking the ball, getting his hands in there at the last second. And Tim O'Connor, that's the 2nd time we have seen him almost make a spectacular diving grab.
Tony Miliano on to attempt a 22-yard field goal. It's 3-0 Elder on top of Colerain. Some big 3rd down conversions by the Panthers. Leads to a field goal with 14 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
The way you said that, it sounded like you were just kidding. Never picked. Back's leaking out. He's going to want to come back if he saw something.
We are here at the pit. Elder leading Colerain by the score of 3-0. 12 seconds to go here in the first quarter. We did have some technical difficulties. It will be Tony Miliano to kick off here for Elder. Tyler Williams is deep for Colerain. ESPNU 150 at the top of your screen, the top 10 recruits. You can check that out throughout this entire broadcast. Miliano's kick. That will go into the end zone once again.
As you see, the ESPNU 150, top 10 prospects scrolling across the top of your screen. You can catch all of our recruiting news on ESPN.com. As well as top 5 positional ranks will be scrolling throughout the day on the broadcast. A lot of good football players in the 2010 class. We saw a lot of good freshmen perform yesterday in college football. Have an opportunity to get on the field. Manti Te'o, the linebacker at Notre Dame. Matt Barkley, a strong performance yesterday for the victorious USC Trojans.
Tabor will keep it himself. And Tabor's not going anywhere. That is the last play of the first quarter. We had a turnover, we had some big 3rd down conversions, and we had our first field goal, 3-0. Elder leading Colerain at the end of one.
highly contested matchup so far here at the end of the first quarter. You got two teams trying to feel their way. Neither team can seem to get into a rhythm, but they're moving the ball sufficiently.
Luke, you were talking about some of those freshmen who performed yesterday. You mentioned Matt Barkley, what he did for USC.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Matt Barkley, 15 of 19, 223 yards. One of the things that I loved that they did as a coaching staff at SC is they gave him a lot of short, what I call confidence throws. He's got great personnel around him. Get those guys the ball, let them do the rest. Jacoby McDaniel, who will be lining up in the 2D, both at defensive tackle and defensive end for Florida State tomorrow night as they face off versus Miami. And Manti Te'o made his presence felt, defensively for Notre Dame a little bit, but it was the offense for the Fighting Irish yesterday that seemed to be clicking on all cylinders.
All right, well, let's take a look at our Old Spice Showcase Legends. We are back here at the pit, a great environment. We are having some technical difficulties, so guess what? That's good news for you. You've got uninterrupted coverage of high school football. Elder and Colerain. Tabor to pitch, gets it off to Tyler Williams. Williams shows off that speed and dances out to the 41. A 20-yard gain for Tyler Williams.
Well, this time defensively, number 26 from his corner position for Elder, Brad DePauli. He tries to do the exact same thing number 21, Jake Fishburne, did on the first series that created the turnover, but he misses. Creates a tremendous opportunity for Tyler Williams to get a huge gain on first down and get his football team almost to the midfield mark.
Tyler Williams, a junior, plays basketball, member of the track and field team as well. Hand off to Durham. Durham looking for a block. He gets it. Out to the 35, taken out at the 31. 28-yard gain for Trayon Durham.
Just a simple give, a nice read by Greg Tabor. He goes ahead and gives it to the big load up the middle. And Durham does the rest, rumbling and bumbling. He is a real workhorse, and he's tough to bring down one-on-one.
3 rushes, 54 yards for Durham. They call themselves Thunder and Lightning. Can you guess who's Thunder?
Yeah. He's the one whose hand's on the ground in a three-point stance. That's which one that is.
1st and 10. Tabor keeps it, tries to cut back. Eric Vogelsang in there for the tackle with Nick Ambelotis. 2-yard gain for Tabor.
And Jake Lindsey, number 33, the linebacker for Elder, along with the defensive line mates there, doing a nice job penetrating upfield, forcing Greg Tabor, the quarterback at Colerain, to have to reposition himself, take another angle.
2nd and 8. 3-0 Elder leading Colerain. Jacob Lindsey, considering NC State and Cincinnati, has a chance to stay home. The pitch to Tyler Williams, and Williams is dragged out for a pickup of 4. Alec Niehauser gets the tackle.
Nice job defensively by Elder there, just stringing the play to the sideline. Got the right players filling the right alleys, not creating a crease, allowing Tyler Williams to be able to take one cut and get upfield north and south.
3rd down and 4. 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions in this game. The Colerain fans are cheering and their players saying, no, quiet down. And now a timeout is taken by Colerain. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series heads back south for Labor Day weekend. Only 2 races remain for Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, and Mark Martin to get off the bubble and into the chase. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Atlanta coverage begins tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN with NASCAR Countdown. Telecast presented by Pennzoil. And let's go back to the studio with an update from Kevin Agandi.
Thank you, Justin and Tom. We'll go back to Ohio in just a minute, but right now the Sooner Nation trying to get out of a nightmare. Last night, it was all very real. Sam Bradford and number 3, Oklahoma, facing BYU, and Bradford taken hard down to the ground in the second quarter. Sprained AC joint in his right shoulder. He would not return. X-rays were negative, but BYU would upset the Sooners 14-13. Of course, we'll have much more coming up at the half with Robert Smith joining us as we break down Oklahoma and their future, and also talk about Ole Miss as they get ready for the season opener at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Let's talk some more about that, Luke, about Bradford going down with that injury in last night's game.
Well, it's not only the effect that it's going to have on Oklahoma as a ball club, having to go to redshirt freshman Landry Jones, but it's the ripple effect that it's going to have, I think, throughout the Big 12. Now, does that put an Oklahoma State team into a different role a little bit if they're not the same team down in Norman that people expected? How does that affect Texas? Could be big ramifications in Norman.
And, of course, what this will do as we are 3rd and 4 with Durham and Williams in the backfield. Tabor keeps it, and he pushes ahead. A pickup of 3. He's going to be short there. They'll set up 4th and 1 for Colerain. And it looks right now as if they're going to go for it.
They've got to come away with points. They can't allow themselves to get down any more to Elder, because this is not a team that's in a comfort zone if they have to throw the football to get back into a game.
4th and 1. Durham gets it and more. Stays on his feet into the end zone. Touchdown. Three-yard run on 4th and 1. His coach calls him a man-child. Greg Tabor, the quarterback, also the punter and kicker, will try for the extra point. 7-3. Colerain now leads Elder.
Well, Trayon Durham, number 34, the big fullback. He may look like the hero here, but it's his teammate, number 18, wide receiver, right there in your screen. Make that pivotal block on the perimeter to spring him free. And then Durham, he may be a big physical back, but watch how nimble his feet are. He's able to keep those feet chopping, getting into the end zone. Huge play on 4th and 1.
A big play on 4th and 1 indeed. 7-3. Colerain leads Elder. ESPN's presentation of the Old Spice High School Showcase is presented by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. And Nike Pro Combat. Prepare for combat. 7-3. Colerain now leads Elder. That sea of red, that's for Colerain. The other side, a sea of purple, that's for Elder. Jordan Pleasant to kick off. Ben Cafaro will take it at the 2. Cafaro cuts back. Chased down from behind by Andrew Smith. ESPN kicks a college football doubleheader on Labor Day. At 4, it's a battle of Big East rivals as the Cincinnati Bearcats take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Then at 8, it's Sunshine State rivalry as the Miami Hurricanes face Bobby Bowden's number 18 Florida State Seminoles for ACC bragging rights. College football presented by Cars.com and college football primetime on ESPN Monday as part of Dick's Sporting Goods kickoff week.
New stadium expansion there in Piscataway. Big crowd.
Adam Brown, first down, picks up 6. Joe Bolden with a tackle.
The Elder here offensively in the no huddle look. What a lot of teams call sugar huddle, where you just kind of mingle throughout the ball there, kind of linger around, and we're able to get set quickly, calling the plays in from the sideline.
Empty backfield here for Mark Miller. Miller looking for Selby Chademo right through his hands. Chris Dukes on the coverage. Chris Dukes also got an extra shove in on there.
Chris Dukes, number 21, the corner. I don't want to say he's been picked on, but they've gone his direction quite a few times coming into the matchup. Really feel like they've got a mismatch potential for him. And it is hobby. And I don't mean the first one. Look at the second one. What's he shopping for?
He should go with you. He could shop for some cowboy boots.
He could shop for some cowboy boots and teach him a thing or two.
Robert Williams in the backfield, 3rd and 4. Miller, a quick throw to O'Connor. And O'Connor gets enough for a first down, a pickup of 6.
You see Tim O'Connor, 6'4", 195 pounds, big, strong possession receiver, committed to the University of Indiana. Could be a guy that could develop into maybe an H-back style player at some point in his future. See last week, nice day in their opener versus East St. Louis.
His brother plays in the Texas Rangers minor league system. Adam Brown, the inside handoff. He'll lose a couple on that one. Jake Blust makes the stop for Colerain.
Yeah, number 50, Jake Blust. Number 40, Kyle Finley. Number 2, Dom Carter. Their front in this, what they term to be a 3-5-3 or a type of look defensively, have really done a nice job against this offensive front of Elder.
2nd and 12. Flag on the play.
Full start. Offense.
Colerain defensively is getting into a lot of looks. They're a base 50 front, which you're going to have 5 men along the front, which is, you know, essentially a tweaked 3-4 look. And then they bring guys from different angles. It can really create some confusion within the offensive front for Elder, and it has to this point.
2nd and 17 off the 3rd penalty against Elder in this game. Miller tries to stay on his feet. He goes down at the 30. A loss of 1. 3rd and long coming up here for Elder.
Look at the defensive alignment here. 3 down linemen for Colerain. And nice job by Mark Miller, seeing an opening, taking off and running, and then he gets off balance. And number 55, talked about him several times. Andrew Smith, just a junior. He's got an opportunity to develop into an outstanding prospect.
Smart kid as well, 3.7 GPA. 3rd and 18. Miller looking for someone downfield. Over the middle, complete to O'Connor. But that will be short. 12-yard pickup sets up 4th down.
Outstanding job defensively on behalf of Colerain in the secondary, just to be able to be near guys and not allow guys to be running straight down the field with a big scramble like that. Credit them defensively, and now getting the ball back, what looks like will be nice field position.
Corey Mason to punt. Tyler Williams goes back, takes it at the 7. Williams looking for some room to move. Jake Fishburne there for a tackle. A 12-yard return. 7-3. Colerain leads Elder. The Elder fans a bit quiet right now as they trail 7-3 here in the 2nd quarter. And Luke, you make a living out of evaluating high school players and projecting what kind of college players they'll be. How about Terrell Pryor?
Yeah, Terrell Pryor on our air a few seasons ago. Big athlete, obviously. We know he can run. We know he can create special plays with his legs. But it's the maturation process as a passer that's going to be the difference between Terrell Pryor being a quarterback that's a great athlete or just a great athlete who's playing quarterback. And if yesterday was any indication, he's well on his way to having a special sophomore campaign.
1st and 10. Tabor pitches to Tyler Williams. Williams trying to get to the outside, but he meets up with Eric Vogelsang.
You know, Terrell Pryor, everything for Terrell Pryor is about patience and belief in the passing game, that he can win with his arm, that he doesn't always have to create with his legs. And, I thought yesterday Jim Tressel and the staff did a great job of creating different launch points for Terrell Pryor to throw the ball from different spots. But if you keep him in the pocket, that's the question. Can he beat you from within the pocket with his arm? And I think that's what SC will test him on this coming week.
2nd and 4. The handoff to Durham. And Durham is met there in the backfield. No gain on the play. Sets up 3rd down and 4. Raheem Johnson in on the tackle.
You go back to Terrell Pryor, and there were so many coaches and programs that recruited him coming out. But I can tell you this, and I talked to several coaches from several programs that thought he was a potential 1st-round draft choice as a defensive end. That's how special of an athlete he is, a Julius Peppers type of player.
3rd down and 4 for Colerain. Ball on the 25. 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversion so far. Tabor to pass, looking deep for Tim Sewell. And it's incomplete. Jake Fishburne almost pushed Sewell into the ball.
He did, and that's not really a poorly thrown ball. He put it in the only spot where his wide receiver could get it, number 21. Jake Fishburne does a nice job just turning his hips and running with the vertical route, getting in the hip pocket of number 18, Tim Sewell. But again, that's why they call it a game of interest. He lays out just not enough, just a little too overthrown.
Tabor to punt. Jake Fishburne deep. Lots of pressure applied there. Jake Lindsey applied the pressure, did not get any fingertip on it. And this one rolls down the 29-yard line, a 45-yard punt. 7-3, Colerain leads Elder. The Purple fans trying to get back into it. 7-3, Colerain on top of number 3 Elder here with 4:08 to go in the 2nd quarter. And now here is the winner of the Honor Courage Commitment Award presented by the U.S. Marine. It is Pete Bachman of Elder, member of the Leadership Scholar Program, mentors inner-city students, student council vice president, plays basketball at Elder, and he is verbally committed to Indiana. Empty backfield here for Mark Miller. 5 wide receivers. Quick throw to Tim O'Connor by the sideline. O'Connor breaks one tackle, gets out past midfield. A 21-yard pickup for Elder on 1st down. We talked before about the top recruiting classes for the class of 2010. This is 2009, but these kids will graduate in 2010.
Correct, and sign in the first Wednesday of every February. And you see the usual suspects there. Florida, big day yesterday. Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Penn State. Joe Pa keeps getting it done there.
You know why?
LSU, Oklahoma. There's a pep rallies.
Well, he's got Peach Paterno ice cream up there at Penn State at the Creamery. Mark Miller trying to dive towards the sideline. He stays in bounds. A loss of 2. Luke, I kind of asked this question to you the other night, and I'll pose it again. You see those names and the schools up there, and you said the usual suspects. Why is it that the rich always get richer? Why don't players want to go and try to start a new thing at a new school?
Well, they do, and they have, as evidenced by the Boise States emerging. The TCUs of the world. With scholarship numbers being down, there's more opportunities for great players to go to other programs outside of the usual top 25 programs.
Miller to throw. Selby Chademo makes the catch. A 6-yard gain.
Recruiting's become so dynamic. You have to have so many different edges, because it used to be, hey, we play on TV and we go to a bowl game. Well, you know what? Everybody does now. So you've got to have something more to your sales pitch. There's got to be something more to your program. When you go out there on the fiercest market there is, the recruiting trail, to be able to get the best players to come and play for you.
3rd and 6. Miller, 4 straight completions. He is 7 for 11 in the ball game. Over the middle. Got his big tight end, Alex Welch. Another 3rd down conversion. We are at the pit. Colerain and Elder. In Cincinnati, Ohio, Elder number 3. On the Rise Fab 50, Justin Kutcher and Tom Luganbill here with you on ESPN. A truly great environment here at the pit. Players to watch for Colerain: Tyon Dixon, verbal commitment to Louisville, and Alex Welch, who just made that catch, committed to Notre Dame. Adam Brown, 2nd effort, no gain. Colerain on 4th and 1, handed the ball off to Trayon Durham, and Durham went in for a 23-yard touchdown run. The only touchdown so far in this game.
You better bring your lunch bucket when you're going to attempt to tackle Durham. He is an absolute load. Keeps his feet moving. He's had a nice day so far here in the first half.
2nd and 11. Robert Williams in the backfield. Miller to Ben Cafaro. Cafaro gets up to the 30. Gang tackled. A 7-yard completion. Minute 20 to go here in the first half. Elder has all 3 timeouts and sets up 3rd and 4. Five for 8 on 3rd down conversions in the first half for Elder. Another one here. Miller has room to run. Flag coming in from the far sideline. It's enough for a 1st down. Let's wait to see what the flag is for.
I sure hope so.
I may win it.
I like you.
Holding defense.
Yeah, they catch Tyon Dixon, number 5, who we just spoken of, the linebacker, committed to the University of Louisville, so he's not going to have to get used to wearing a different helmet, as he's matched up against Adam Welch, who's trying to run down the seam, and quite honestly, Tyon Dixon flat out tackles him. And it was a good call, and could be a pivotal one as this ball moves closer to the goal line for Elder.
Coming up at the half, we'll check in with Kevin Nagandi and Robert Smith for the halftime report. The latest on the Sam Bradford injury. The Patriots make a trade. And number 4 USC, number 6 Ohio State preview. Well, we'll have 2 former ESPN U150 players in that matchup.
Yes, we will. Top 5 overall players in that matchup between Terrell Pryor and Matt Barkley. And to be honest with you, a whole host of other prospects on both of those rosters who at some point have been littered throughout the ESPN U1.
Holding defense, 10 yards.
It's a 10-yard penalty. Ball now on the 14-yard line. Tom Bolden wants an explanation. Not going to be very happy with it.
He wasn't very happy from the moment that play ended.
Mark Miller looking for O'Connor. Good tackle by Chris Dukes. 3-yard completion, 2nd and 7. Timeout taken by Elder to stop the clock with 31 seconds.
We had some guys in the ESPN U150 participate yesterday and make a couple of appearances, as did many true freshmen. throughout the landscape of college football in the first weekend. But Matt Barkley obviously is the big marquee name there because so many eyes have been on him. And could he handle being the first true freshman to ever start at quarterback for USC? I think he handled the spotlight well. Again, I go back to Jimmy Clausen when he was a true freshman at Notre Dame. You want to know the difference between Matt Barkley and Jimmy Clausen as true freshmen? Barkley had big-time players around him yesterday. Jimmy Clausen had a bunch of true freshmen that came in the same class with him, redshirt freshmen, or true sophomores playing around him. Now what you're seeing out of Notre Dame is the maturation process of those classes with those kids now being upperclassmen.
You can see McDaniel coming up against Miami. That'll be tomorrow night. So if you're rating those two quarterbacks, do you rate one higher than the other?
Personally, coming out, I think they were both very comparable. Both pocket passers, both have the arm to make all the throws, although I think Matt Barkley has a bit of a stronger arm. Again, so much of your success at the quarterback position when you move on to the next level is going to be being in the right place at the right time, having terrific personnel around you, so it gives you the opportunity to be successful. And you know, obviously that's where Matt Barkley's had an edge as a true freshman, where Jimmy Clausen didn't. He's had to mature into that role.
2nd down and 5, empty backfield. The numbers on Mark Miller, 10 for 14, 119 yards here in the first half. Miller trying to buy some more time. Goes to the end zone and throws it out. Smart play.
Heady play. There's nothing wrong with playing the next down, particularly when you're in a scoring situation here where you could kick a field goal as time's winding down here to end the first half. And I like the heady play there by Mark Miller, the quarterback for Elder.
3rd down and 5. You've got 2 timeouts left. You can, if you want, try to run the ball. Do you take a chance, try to mix it up, or no?
Possibly. I think if you're going to take a shot at running the ball, it's probably going to come as a draw. You want to be able to look like you're going to be in a pass set. Now with no backs in the backfield, ball looks to be going in the air.
Whistle blows this play dead.
Tom Bolden ran the fastest 40 yards.
Timeout. Colerain.
The head coach at Colerain ran the fastest 40-yard dash ever timed by a high school coach down that sideline to make that call.
There is Alex Welch, and let's take a look at his ESPN Rise player profile. Nicknamed Big Al. Gee, I wonder why. Only 6'5", 245. Favorite subject is math at a 3.4 GPA. Great movie. Remember the Titans? Biggest sports thrill, catching the touchdown in the 4th quarter, an overtime game, and a verbal commitment to Notre Dame. Also plays basketball.
With that big body, I'd be playing basketball too. Boxing folks out in the paint. You see Notre Dame's recruiting class thus far. And Andrew Hendricks, and we're here in Cincinnati out of Moeller High School. I think he's one of the most underrated prospects this entire class has to offer. I think it's a bit of a down year at the quarterback class, a little bit more of a developmental class. That's not to mean that prospects aren't going to be big-time players one day, but guys that maybe aren't as college ready. This kid's got a big arm. I think he could be a surprise out of this class. And Blake Luters, you see Chris Martin, the defensive end there at the top. Blake Luters is a kid that's going to be moving down into the end role, plays middle linebacker right now. He's an outstanding prospect in his own right.
3rd down and 5 with 26 seconds to go here in the first half. Miller to the end zone to Chademo, up in the air, touchdown! A 10-yard touchdown pass on 3rd and 5. They say here with everyone dressed in purple, it's a purple thing.
Number 21, Chris Dukes on, the corner for Colerain, really having a hard time playing the football. He's in position. He's got nice coverage, but he's not elevating and getting up to the ball, as we saw Chademo do right there. Number 1, wide receiver for Elder, and this time the ball is placed in the proper spot. Up high, back corner of the end zone. Chris Dukes, again, in position, but the maturation process as a corner. Once you're in position, you have got to locate that ball. You've got to elevate to your highest point. That ball should have either been intercepted or it should have been batted down. And that's not to take anything away from quarterback Mark Miller or Selby Chademo, but Chris Dukes will wish he had that opportunity back.
Selby Chademo having a nice game. A nice reception on that one. 20 seconds to go. Scoring drive, 10 plays, 71 yards. Chademo on the 10-yard touchdown catch. Tony Miliano will kick off. Tyler Williams is deep with Charles Newell.
Keep in mind with 20 seconds to go here in the second quarter how pivotal that score is with Elder receiving the kickoff to start the third quarter.
Once again into the end zone. They'll start at the 20. So far, Luke, we've done 2 high school games, this one being the third. We've had great ones. We've got some more fantastic matchups coming up on the ESPN family of networks on ESPNU next Friday. Hoover, Alabama versus Camden County, Georgia. How about this matchup right here on September 18th? Nick Montana, Oaks Christian against number 9 Skyline.
It'll be a great matchup. 2 teams, both very well coached, both teams with good players, and both teams with 2 exciting offenses led by their high-profile quarterbacks you just mentioned. And how about Lakeland and De La Salle there at the bottom? 2 powers from opposite ends of this country.
It's high school football. They'll travel 3,000 miles for that one. Greg Tabor is going to take a knee, and that's the way this first half will come to an end. A huge, huge score by the Elder Panthers. The 10-yard touchdown pass to Selby Chademo. These fans dressed in purple will go into the half kind of happy. Our halftime score, Elder 10, Colerain 7. Let's go back to Kevin Nagandi and Robert Smith for the halftime report. Welcome back to the Old Spice High School Showcase presented by the U.S. Marine Corps. Today it's Colerain taking on Elder at the pit from Cincinnati, Ohio. And as we get set to start the third quarter, it's 10-7. Elder on top of Colerain. These fans got here early. They are staying for this game. 13,000 people have packed the stadium here at the pit. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Justin Kutcher alongside the Director of National Recruiting for ESPN, Tom Luganbill. And Tom, in that first half, we saw both offenses run pretty much the way we expected to.
Yeah, they've operated as advertised. And for Colerain, it's been all about the run game. 150 yards on the ground in the first half. 6 runs of 20 or more plus yards. So they've been accomplishing what they like to do. They haven't been able to sustain drives. That's been the difference.
Let's take a look at the highlights. First for Colerain, we talk about rushing, and this came on 4th and 1.
Yeah, Trayon Durham, the big load from his fullback position, getting a nice block there from his receiver, number 18, Tim Sewell. And really, that was one of the bigger plays that sparked the Colerain offense, but it was Mark Miller, 11 of 16, 129 yards, and this touchdown to Selby Chademo, number 1, his target in the back corner of the end zone. And it's been Elder, 7 of 10 on 3rd down throughout the day in the first half. Has really been the difference between Elder sustaining drives and Colerain's drives coming to an end.
And you look at the passing yards, the discrepancy there, but it's evened out by the rushing yards. Exactly what we expected, but there you go again. What you said, 0 for 4 third down conversions for Colerain, 7 for 10 third down conversions for Elder. Colerain kicks off. Ben Cafaro takes it. And he comes near side. Big block by O'Connor. Frees him up. Here comes Cafaro over the 50 and taken down at the 45. What a way to open it up for Elder.
Just before we went to break, I touched on how important it was to get that score before the end of the first half, then to have the ball coming out. You add on the tacked on field position, and that's just like icing on the cake, because Ben Cafaro doing a nice job reading his blocks, taking what the coverage team gets him, puts his football team in great position.
52-yard return for Cafaro. The handoff to Adam Brown. Spins away from one tackle. And then he gets pulled down by Jared Grace. A pickup of 1 for Brown. And Brown is slow to get up as well. Adam Brown had a big first week of the season. 212 yards, 2 touchdowns in the opener against East St. Louis. He's been slowed down in this one. Brown just 9 rushes for 16 yards in today's game. Miller passes off to Robert Williams. Williams gets shoved out by Chris Dukes. 8-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Elder here offensively spreading the field, getting their backs involved, try and get them in one-on-one situation with a linebacker in space, as we saw right there. And Chris Dukes, number 21, the corner, actually having to come up and make the tackle from his secondary position.
What do you expect here in the second half on offense from Elder?
Elder has got to remain balanced. They can't just throw the football. They're going to have to keep this defense for Colerain guessing and sustain drives, continuing to convert 3rd downs.
Hand off to Brown. Gets the first down and pushes the pile. Still on his feet, no whistle. Finally, a 7-yard pickup. Those were 7 hard yards earned by Adam Brown.
Well, they certainly were, and you watch Doug Ramsey, the head coach for Elder, who also doubles as the offensive coordinator, showing some excitement and enthusiasm as he sees his offensive front really take it to the defensive front 7 of Colerain on that play for a key 3rd down conversion.
Elder came into the season number 3 in the country. Their opener, they beat East St. Louis 49-28. They're on top here by 3 as we are just underway in the second half of this ball game. Miller to pass. Looking for O'Connor in the end zone. Touchdown! '29-yard touchdown pass to Tim O'Connor. Tony Miliano on for the extra point. And it is 17-3.
Well, Elder really likes what they've seen in their matchup versus number 21, Chris Dukes. This was a matchup of discrepancy. Tim O'Connor, 6'4". Chris Dukes, 5'9". Throw the ball up in the air, the big guy's going to win every time. Tim O'Connor with a touchdown. The opening drive put Elder ahead, 17-7.
Mark Miller puts his team up by 10 with his 2nd touchdown pass of the afternoon. 4 plays, 45 yards, a 29-yard touchdown pass to Tim O'Connor. Tony Miliano will kick off. Tyler Williams is deep. No play on that one. Here is the winner of the Honor Courage Commitment Award presented by the U.S. Marines. For Colerain, it is Tyler Larsh, senior guard, team captain. Received 2 reconstructive knee surgeries freshman and sophomore year. Came back to be a team captain. Favorite subject, this guy must want to be a doctor. AP biology?
Biology's not enough. It's got to be AP.
It's got to be AP?
Huh?
Wow.
I'm really interested to see how patient now Colerain will be on offense now that they are down by 10 points.
Tabor the handoff to Williams, and he is stood up by Jake Lindsay and Eric Vogelsang, a pickup of 1.
When you are going to be a power run team or a triple option based team offensively from a philosophical standpoint, you get behind, it changes everything. It takes you out of your comfort zone. You're not built to throw to win. And if that's what has to happen here, that's why I talk about the patience with Colerain. A lot of time left. Keep running the football, sustain a drive.
Only 67 pass attempts all of last season. Tabor keeps it himself. Comes near side. Picks up a block, and Jake Fishburne's there for the tackle. A pickup of 9, 1st down. top of the screen. Top 150. And also the top 5 players in each position. You see Philip Sims up there. He was on our air a couple of weeks ago. Durham. Good tackle by Vogelsang. Eric Vogelsang, 6'1", 195. He's got 7 tackles now in this game.
Yeah, and the offensive front for Colerain could not get off to the second level, the linebacker level, and get a hat on a hat, allowing Vogelsang to just really have a beeline to the ball carrier, and he makes the tackle upon contact.
Likes Dwayne Wade. How about, I don't know, someone like Ray Lewis?
Brian Urlacher?
Brian Urlacher. 2nd and 9. Tabor looking to pass, rolling out. Now he's going to run. Good block. Stays on his feet. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds by Vogelsang. Flag, though, on the play. It's a 20-yard gain. Holding.
Tom Bolden, the head coach at Colerain, not happy about this call right here. And it was such a fine play by quarterback Greg Tabor because it was a designed play-action pass. They were going to bootleg out, flood the field, and it looks like the hold's going to be at the bottom of your screen versus number 18 there, right next to quarterback Greg Tabor. They call it late, but it was a smart play by Tabor pulling the ball down. Didn't like what he saw in the passing game, but negates a huge run.
2nd down and 18. Negates a 20-yard run by Greg Tabor. Hand off to Durham. Durham once again getting out to the secondary. Not easy to be taken down. 10-yard pickup. Brad DePoli pushes him out.
Well, this time, Trayon Durham doesn't get the same blocking on the perimeter on behalf of his wide receivers to help him spring into the second level and possibly get down the sideline.
Play selection, 23 rushes, 2 passes. Trayon Durham now 88 yards on the game on just 7 carries. 3rd down and 8. These fans here at the pit, the 12th man making some noise. Durham gets met and pushed backwards. Wow, what a defensive stand that was. Jake Lindsey with the initial contact. Corey Mason there as well.
Now, obviously, both teams going at halftime. They make adjustments. But the quick strike offensively for Elder in their first series allowed this defense for Elder that's penetrating very well defensively, particularly within their interior front, to not have to play tight. They've got another touchdown on the board. Play relaxed.
Tabor almost muffs the snap. Line drive kick to Fishburne, who slips and goes down at the 47. An 11-yard return, 17-7. Elder on top of Colerain. We are back at the pit in Cincinnati, Ohio, where Elder leads Colerain by the score of 17-7. A direct snap to Ben Cafaro, and that is going to be a loss of 5 yards. We now welcome in the 3rd member of our team today, Bill Conley from Scouts Inc. Bill, thanks for joining us. What's it like down there in the field, this crazy atmosphere?
Well, I'm right in the middle of Spirit Nation down here, and I'll tell you what, the Elder fans are going crazy. They do a great job. The Spirit Committee here, and I'll tell you what, they do a super job. A lot of excitement, and Elder's really starting to take control of the game a little bit here in the second half.
You know, Coach, you've seen this state. You know the football inside and out from the high school ranks. Having been an assistant coach at Ohio State for 17 years. What are you seeing out there, X's and O's, from 2 of the state's premier powerhouse programs?
Well, first of all, it really has been pretty much a defensive battle except for a couple of drives. I think one you've seen from Elder, they've done a great job of the discipline it takes to stop the option. You have to have somebody on the dive, also on the quarterback and on the pitch. At the same time, you've seen Colerain at time make a few plays. Offensively, no doubt about it. The passing attack of Elder is really starting to take over. The big target, of course, Tim O'Connor, unbelievable, and Matt Miller's doing a super job. Still some good, solid hitting, but I'll tell you what, it's really been that type of battle here today. Two great rivalries from crosstown.
There is a flag down on the play. It came well after the whistle. We'll wait to get the ruling.
Illegal forward pass, loss of down.
Big call with the loss of down and backing up Elder here a little bit.
Coach, as far as Cincinnati is concerned, in terms of the state of Ohio and the caliber and strength of high school football, overall recruiting and athletes, where would you rank Cincinnati in comparison to other areas of this state?
Well, I think really the Cincinnati area, along with the Cleveland area, are probably the two strongest, and Central Ohio is not bad also. But what they have down here in Cincinnati, they've got a great mix of some fine private schools and some public institutions, and some great players historically from this area.
Miller tucks it. He's going to slide down. A 2-yard gain. And that'll bring up 4th down. Corey Mason on to punt. Back deep, Tyler Williams and Bam Harrison for Colerain. A huge punt as Williams goes back to retrieve it. 54-yard punt. Williams brings it back to the 18-yard line, a 10-yard return. Hey, Bill, how about the top recruits in Ohio as we take a look here? Jordan Hicks, Darrell Baldwin. Have you heard anything about Hicks and where he may go?
Well, you know what? I really think Jordan Hicks from just up the road, actually, Westchester Lakota High School. You know, it sounds like something between Texas and Ohio State because he's not really from Ohio originally. So I think it's going to boil down to those two schools.
Okay, and the real question for me is, have you gone back behind the end zone and gotten any of that barbecue yet?
No, but it's smelling awful good down here. I'm going to get in a three-point stance and sprint over there pretty soon.
Tabor looking deep, and he just throws it. Misses Tyler Williams.
I like Tyler Williams. I like the offensive formation, putting their biggest speed threat out wide and sending them down the sideline. Again, just beyond the outstretched fingers of Williams. And he had his man beat by a good 3 to 4 yards.
2nd down and 10. Colerain trailing by 10. Colerain lost to Cincinnati St. Xavier 16-0 in their opener. Had just 153 yards on offense. Flag on the play.
Dead ball, false start.
Again, you look at the 2nd and 3rd down scenarios. You're going to see the replay here. A little extracurricular activity defensively. Number 10, Corey Mason. Not playing well with others in the sandbox. You put this football team offensively in Colerain in a 2nd and 15 scenario. Again, the scheme doesn't benefit from that.
Trayon Durham trying to move the pile. Just moves it 3 yards.
Coach, you've coached high school football in the state of Ohio a long time ago.
Not that long ago. Come on.
And we're seeing the triple option here today from Colerain. And talk a little bit how offensive football is starting to become full circle. The spread offense essentially being the single wing out of the shotgun. Georgia Tech and Navy becoming prevalent with their triple option again.
Exactly right, and that's what makes it so tough to defend. because it limits what you can do defensively. If you've got a blitz or you got a line stunt, oftentimes you have to call that off against the option to defend all three things. So you have to really be good. And also the other part, if you don't run that offense yourself, it's extremely hard to simulate it in practice. I think it was one of the problems Ohio State ran into against Navy yesterday. You can't simulate the option unless you run it a lot yourself.
That's exactly right, and that's one of the reasons why you say if you're going to get Navy or you're going to get Georgia Tech at the collegiate level, either get them in the opener or get them in a bowl game where you have an opportunity to prepare.
Exactly.
Tabor to punt. A low punt to Jake Fishburne, chases him back to the 40. Fishburne able to stay on his feet. Taken down by Andre Jones. Hey, Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Go grab some barbecue. Bring it up here to the booth. I think Luke's is hungry.
Does he want sauce on that or not?
Absolutely.
All right.
17-7, Elder on top of Colerain. Grilling hamburgers, some hot dogs in there. It's 17-7, Elder on top of Colerain. 5:23 to go. Do you want cheese on that?
You 2 slices.
Time now for today's Nike Pro Combat Game Changers. Looking at them for Elder, Mark Miller, and Alex Welch. Miller having a nice game.
Nice game, no turnovers, making smart plays with his head.
Completion to Cafaro. Cafaro down the near sideline. Hit out of bounds by Darius Godfrey. 19-yard gain on first down.
Just dinking and dunking. You see that completion percentage being so high for Mark Miller, where they're not throwing a lot of intricate throws downfield between coverage, getting the ball into the hands of their playmakers. Number 5, Ben Cafaro, has been a huge asset to this offense here today.
70% completion percentage for Mark Miller on the day. Hands off to Brown. Brown gets taken down by Jake Blust. Initial contact, and we've got some extracurricular. Alex Welch's helmet goes flying off as he and Tyon Dixon get tangled up.
Well, it's not the first time they've been tangled up. That gets the crowd here, both Colerain and Elder, a little bit worked up. But these guys have been going after it, not only in one-on-one matchups and coverage, but at the point of attack and run blocking as well.
Tyon Dixon, 5'11", 185. Commit to Louisville. Alex Welch, 6'5", 245. Commit to Notre Dame.
We talk about Tyon Dixon, his size. You know, that's what the linebacker position is becoming in college football because of the spread offense. You've got to be able to have guys that can play in space, that can run, and that you don't have to substitute for versus the no huddle.
Empty backfield on 2nd and 12. Cafaro again. Bam Harrison pushed him out. And once again, Welch, he got a hand to the head.
Watch Welch right there. These two are getting after it. Tyon Dixon, Adam Welch.
You're not in it, right?
The officials now have got to take control of this matchup between these two players and start recognizing hands to the face, both on behalf of Welch and Dixon in regards to what is and what is not allowed by the rules.
Officials timeout. A piece of Welch's helmet came out. And we talked about this rivalry at the top of our broadcast being a postseason rivalry. These teams meeting in the playoffs. Now they're meeting in the regular season. It's the first ever trip for Colerain here to the pit. You've got all the Colerain fans on one side, that sea of red. Then you've got the sea of purple on the other side. You look at this series history. The last win for Colerain was back in 2004. Elder leads the series 5-4, but in 1995, Colerain had to forfeit afterwards because of an ineligible player. So if you speak to people on the Colerain side,
there's an asterisk.
They say they're 5-4. Alex Welch verbally committed to Notre Dame. The number 12 ranked tight end by ESPNU 150. Adam Brown in the backfield, 3rd and 2. 8 for 11 third down conversions for Elder. Brown takes the handoff, and there to stuff it is Dom Carter. Dom Carter was not fooled at all, a loss of 1.
keeping their offense on the field here with a 4th and 4 situation, showing some confidence not only that the offensive football team can get the first down, but showing some confidence in their defense.
It would have been about a 40-yard field goal attempt. Miller to throw. Cafaro open far sideline. First down. Ben Cafaro's favorite player is Wes Welker. He's looking like Wes Welker in this.
Well, what's happening here offensively is they are picking and rubbing off inside, out in the flat, and instead of playing this off between the 3 defenders, they're playing man-to-man defense, and Colerain's getting caught up by what's called a quote-unquote rub. Rub off the defenders, free the inside receiver, in this case, number 5, Ben Cafaro, in the flat, nobody around him in coverage.
Cafaro now in the backfield. He's got 6 catches in the game, 3 on this drive. Make it 4 on this drive. Cuts back in the middle. Tyon Dixon comes back to make the play.
No, Tyon Dixon has got his motor running right now. He's running on 93 octane. Not only is he mixing it up with Adam Welch, the tight end for Elder, he is flying sideline to sideline in on a lot of tackles.
A 3-year starter, Tyon Dixon. Verbal commitment to Louisville. 5'11", 185 pounds. His favorite food, anything from Grandma Karen.
I want to know what's on the menu.
Yeah. Second and 9. Miller to the end zone. O'Connor. And that is incomplete, going at Chris Dukes again. We are at the pit in Cincinnati, Ohio, the home of Elder, taking on Colerain. Justin Kutcher and Tom Luganbill here with you on ESPN. The players to watch out, well, they've been getting tangled up in this series. Tyon Dixon for Colerain and Alex Welch for Elder. Third and 9. Miller. No flag as the ball is floated to O'Connor. O'Connor gets wrestled down by Andre Jones. Pickup of 9. This could be very close.
They've all been through the air for Elder on the fade route right here. Doing a nice job, and then down the sideline to Tim O'Connor, number 3, a big target, 6'4" versus the 5'9" Chris Dukes. And then a very dangerous play there on behalf of Mark Miller, the quarterback for Elder, as he rolled right, scrambling, looking for something, and throws it back across his body and really lost it up. Really lucky Tim O'Connor was there to make that grab.
Miller was able to throw it up and allow O'Connor to make that grab because it looked like there was a hold over the middle where one of the receivers, I think it may have been Selby Chademo, who almost went down. It's first and goal. Handoff to Brown. Flag on the play. .141 to go here. It's a false start against Elder.
Again, Doug Ramsey, the head coach, also serves as this team's offensive coordinator. They've done a lot of nice things. They've mixed it up, kept Colerain guessing with a lot of different personnel groupings, different formations, and they have caught them several times in man coverage situations with the right play call offensively to create some confusion and get guys open in space.
Procedure. Elder, repeat the down.
First and goal from the 11. Empty backfield here for Mark Miller. Rolls out, looking for Chidemo. Another flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
62. Holding 62.
You know, Doug Ramsey, the head coach, is so upset right now with Mark Miller because there was pressure from the left side. Tyon Dixon blitzed off the edge, which left the hot receiver, Ben Cafaro, number 5, their main target in this game, wide open in the flat with nobody covering him. I think Doug Ramsey expects his quarterback to see that.
Here we go, O-line! Here we go!
It will still be first and goal. But it will be first and goal.
Holding.
Right now they have it marked at the 29-yard line.
We have some committed face painters here in attendance today. We have full body painters here today.
Adam Brown in the backfield with Miller. Quick pass to Cafaro. There's Tyon Dixon once again, wrapping him up, a 2-yard pickup.
You see there on the sideline, Doug Ramsey, his assistant coaches, you've got the grease board there. They're going to write a number that everybody can see from the field as they look back to the sideline, giving them an idea of what play they'd like them to look at as they look down at their wristbands on the field. Everybody's in sync, knows what to run. It used to be it was all hand signals. Now instead of taking the guesswork out of the hand signals, put it on a number, everybody wears a little band around your arm.
What do you prefer when you're the quarterback?
I like the hand signals.
Miller up the middle. This time he gets hit hard. 3-yard gain for Mark Miller.
You know, by having the wristband on all players on offense, you eliminate any issues with noise, crowd problems, trying to call the play at the line of scrimmage. Then it just comes down to snap count, but everybody's in sync and on the same page.
That will be the last play of the third quarter. 17-7. Elder leading Colerain. The fans that have made it inside, and even some fans sitting on a porch overlooking the field. Touchdown to Tim O'Connor. 17-7, Elder on top. We are back at the pit, or as I like to call it, the Wrigley Field of high school football stadiums. That right there is part of a house. That's a porch that's not part of a stadium. They are overlooking the field here. It's awesome.
And it's not even connected to the house. It's actually out in the backyard, built right up against the back end of the stadium. Fantastic.
The stands are 5 yards away from the field. This is built with homes all around it. Miller with some time. Looking for O'Connor. The fans were looking for a flag. No flags on the field.
See number 28, Andre Jones, in coverage on the back of number 3, Tim O'Connor. Mark Miller rolled out to his right, really throws a nice ball. And you can see that in slow motion. The officials don't see it in slow motion. I can see that not being called. I can also see it being called.
Tony Miliano for a 41-yard field goal attempt, but now we've got a flag on the play.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense.
Now a 36-yard field goal attempt for Miliano. can see the school there in the background. And that is good. Miliano is now 2 for 2 on field goal attempts. He increases the lead to 20-7. Those fans, they don't have to pay for tickets. They just watch and enjoy the action. 27 Elder on top. ESPN's presentation of the Old Spice High School Showcase presented by the United States Marine Corps is brought to you by Nike Pro Combat. Prepare for combat. Old Spice, different scents for different gents. And Gatorade. It's the heart, hustle, and soul of the game. That's G. Shirts, that's optional. When you got body paint, you don't need it.
Yeah, look at the cheerleaders down there for Elder. All boys school, a little over 900 boys.
Tony Miliano will kick off. All of his kickoffs have sailed into or out of the end zone. And we'll continue that trend. Colerain, founded in 1925, 2,100 students. Location here in Cincinnati. They nicknamed the Cardinals. Let's look at their athletic facilities. 2004 Ohio State champions. And their fans who made their trip over here, not too far, about 13, 14 miles. They're trying to get their team into it. Durham in the backfield. Tyler Williams split out wide. Tabor looking for Williams, now tucks it and runs. Good block. And finally, Tabor is dragged out by Brian Riestenberg. 21-yard gain. And the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series heads back south for Labor Day weekend. Only 2 races remain for Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, and Mark Martin to get off the bubble and into the chase. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Atlanta coverage begins tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN with NASCAR Countdown. Telecast presented by Pennzoil. .11:37 to go here in the 4th quarter. Williams and Durham back in the backfield. Tabor keeps it. Tabor stiff arm against Vogelsang. And another one, this time he grabbed the face mask of Fishburne right in front of one of the officials. No flag.
Sometimes those offensive face masks are a little hard to get a good peek at, especially when he's in the crowd along the sideline there. Nice job reading the end man on the line of scrimmage on behalf of Tabor. Number 8, the quarterback. He keeps it. Nice stiff arm. Shoots to go out of bounds. He grabs it, slings down. Corner. For Elder. Look at the pass yards. -5 for Colerain on the day.
Hand off to Durham. Initial contact by Nick Ambelotis.
You know, one of the issues Colerain's having in their passing game is they want to get their best skilled athlete, which is Tyler Williams, number 1. They want to get him in space, so they line him up out wide. Well, the minute they do that, everybody on defense for Elder knows that there's going to be an attempt to try and get Williams the ball. And now that's putting Tabor in a bad position because he's got to now have somebody else to go to, which usually means tucking it and running it.
Trayon Durham is down on the field right now. 6 feet, 200-pound junior. Durham had the big touchdown run, the only score in the game so far for Colerain. 23-yarder on 4th and 1. He gets up and he's all right.
I think of the maturity level, not only the talent level, but the maturity level of Trayon Durham and Tyler Williams, both over 1,000 yards a year ago as a sophomore. Each one was a sophomore. That's impressive.
What about recruiting-wise? Because it's triple option, they don't pass. Does that affect them at all? Do their numbers become inflated?
I don't think so. I think you're going to evaluate a running back on their ability to run the football, the things that they can do. And both of these guys obviously have got some unique traits.
Monty Ivory is now in the backfield. Tyler Williams split out wide. 2nd and 7. Handoff to Ivory up the middle. Ivory stays on his feet. Now he's whistled down at the 35, a pickup of 11. Nick Ambelotis again with a tackle.
And Monty Ivory, the senior out of this group in the backfield, lines up both as what would be the A back, if you were to talk the Georgia Tech terminology, or the B back, which is what we saw him in there right there, which is generally the fullback role for Monty Ivory, the 6', 180-pound senior.
1st and 10 from the 35. Tabor to pass, looking deep for Williams. Williams with his speed can't catch up to it. He had Brad DePoli beat.
And Brad DePoli knows it's coming, and Williams still runs right by him. Off of the play pass again. The minute you put Williams out there, it's going to alert the defense. Something fishy's going on in the passing game. They want to try and get this guy the football. Everybody coming inside, trying to stop the run off the dive. Creates a one-on-one matchup between corner and wide receiver out wide. They just can't seem to hit the mark. Been close a couple times.
This is a big drive right here for Colerain. A touchdown makes it a one-possession game. Monty Ivory in the backfield with Trayon Durham. The pitch to Ivory, almost fumbles it. Gets hit hard by Eric Vogelsang, a pickup of 7. Bend but don't break. That's a philosophy for the Elder Panthers defense.
You look at the no third down conversions throughout the day, and right now the time is on Elder's side. If they don't give up a big play in the passing game, they control this football game defensively, because Colerain will have to earn it on the ground.
3rd and 3. Tyler Williams back in the backfield with Trayon Durham. Tabor tries to get rid of it. Ball is loose. And it looks like it was picked up by Trayon Durham. Another stop on 3rd down by this Panthers defense. A loss of 8.
Now this is a matter, I think, of Greg Tabor, the quarterback, really just trying to make a play, get that ball out of his hands, and contact's already been made. Number 18 at the point of attack for Elder. Kenny Orloff doing a nice job planting his helmet right in the chest of Tabor, and the ball comes loose. But again, I go back to what I said in the first quarter. There is a way to fall on a fumble. You can't pounce on a fumble and expect that ball to be recovered. All you're going to do is force it to bounce up in the air.
Right now, Elder does not have anybody deep. Tabor, and they were expecting this. A throw downfield, and it's dropped in the end zone by Tim Sewell.
Does a great job of being alert by number 26. Brad DePoli, the corner for Elder. And Tim Sewell's got to make the play. He's been a great blocker all day, but not enough with the hands.
So close, but it's still 20-7. 9:26 to go here in the 4th quarter. Elder leading Colerain by the score of 20-7. ESPN kicks a college football doubleheader on Labor Day. At 4, it's a battle of Big East rivals as the Cincinnati Bearcats take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Then at 8, it's the Sunshine State rivalry as the Miami Hurricanes face Bobby Bowden's number 18 Florida State Seminoles for ACC bragging rights. College football presented by Cars.com and college football primetime on ESPN Monday as part of Dick's Sporting Goods kickoff week. You look at those two games we have on their air tomorrow. How about the contrasting styles we'll see from the teams up north versus the teams down south in Florida?
Well, the teams down south in Florida obviously have a natural, I guess you could say, edge in recruiting just due to population alone. And those teams up north are starting to inch their way down in recruiting and recruit a little bit more southward.
Adam Brown on the carry. Brown picks up 5 on first down. Now we look at the top 150 by state. The most ESPNU 150 prospects.
Yeah, and you look at the top 3, Florida, Texas, California. That's simply a result of population. The higher the population, the higher the enrollments, the more opportunities you have for kids to go out and the better athletes you're going to have from a coaching standpoint. It's been our belief at Scouts Inc. that the southeastern portion of the United States as a whole, whether it's Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, obviously Florida, encompasses the greatest amount of athletes, speed, and athleticism. And, you see so many programs. Rutgers going to be playing Greg Schiano. He's going to dip down there in Florida. He understands it. He knows those types of players can help the roster, and they can't all go to Florida State, Florida, and Miami.
Chris Vasilovic, he comes off the field. Got injured on the last play, 6'2", 280 pounds. I'm going to put you on the spot right now. We talked about those 3 states, most players to choose from. How about the smaller states? What's the best smaller state, smaller population to choose from?
That is a really tough question. I'm going to give you a state that's underrated, and that's Virginia.
All right.
Virginia is a highly underrated state.
Fake handoff given to Cafaro, and Cafaro goes ahead to 45-yard line, a pickup of 3. Hey, Coach, we're once again joined by Bill Conley down on the field. How difficult was it for you to go down to Florida and recruit from Ohio State?
It was very difficult at the beginning, but what you have to do, you have to get a few good recruits, and if they have a good experience, they play well, they get a good education, they go back and they become your best recruiters. So it took a few years, but you have to have good, strong out-of-state areas, and we were able to do that. It took a lot of hard work.
Ben Cafaro in the backfield with Mark Miller. Handoff to Cafaro, gets met in the backfield by Andrew Smith. A loss of 2 on the play.
And Coach, in the early days, what was your recruiting pitch when players weren't sold yet, when you had to go down there and convince them?
That's a good point. I think, first of all, here's one thing. If you recruit somebody from the South, you say you come to the Big Ten Conference and you can be a real speed guy. You can be one of the fastest guys in the conference, not just a guy. That's important, too. And then, of course, the other teams would use the weather against us, and that was one of the things I said, well, if you're going to get drafted by Green Bay or Buffalo, you're not going to go because it's in cold weather. So you have to negate all the, those things, but mainly sell your own institution. That was the key.
Tyler Williams on the return. Jake Lindsey misses the chance for a tackle, and Williams goes out to the 18-yard line. Pete Bachman gets the tackle. Coach, thanks again for the insight and for joining us.
All right, and that barbecue is good.
Thanks, way to make us jealous. 20-7 here in the fourth quarter, 7:18 to go. Luke, you saw a difference in offensive philosophy on the last possession there for Elder, running the ball, trying to take time off the clock.
Again, they're in control. They don't give up a big play in the passing game, which Colerain's going to attempt. They stay in control. The clock's on their side. Now they got to run the football. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Running the football isn't about running it when you have to. It's running it when you want to.
Tabor looking to pass. Has his man Tim Sewell for completion.
And if you're Elder, Colerain's going to throw it and complete it. Keep him in bounds.
4-yard gain sets up 2nd and 6. Getting a bit windier here now.
Bringing that barbecue smell right into the press box there, Justin.
Look at you, just thinking about food all the time. Tyler Williams and Trayon Durham in the backfield. Hand off to Durham. And it's Raheem Johnson taking him down. Raheem Johnson, 5'11", 215, a sophomore. His coach thinks he has a chance to be absolute dominant.
For both of these football teams, if you watch this game unfold, these kids play so hard. They play respectful of each other, but they play so hard. They are tough kids. They're feisty. They have a lot of pride, and they care about not only this game, but they care about this rivalry. 3rd down and 2.
Tabor throwing it and throws it wide, intended for Tim Sewell. I'm a bit surprised by that play call. 3rd and 2, you've got your power running game.
Got your power running game. Even if you get stopped short, you might have a 4th and inches.
4th down coming up. You can hear the wind blowing in the microphones. Colerain's going to go for it. Tabor gets it. And he's wrestled down by Brad DePoli. A big fourth down conversion, picks up 10. Really not just keeps the drive alive, he keeps the game alive.
Keeps the game alive. Put the ball in the hands of your senior leader, your quarterback, Greg Tabor, on fourth down. I like the call. He converts, keeps the offense rolling. See the fake inside. They collapse down inside. He reads it perfectly, pulls it, takes it up inside. He knows he's got to get north and south to have a chance of getting that first down. He gets more.
Tyler Williams splits out wide, just Trayon Durham in the backfield. Tabor back to pass. Now he tucks and runs. What a play by David Peters. From behind, gets him by the shoe. 5:30 to go here at the pit in Cincinnati, Ohio. Colerain taking on number 3 Elder. Justin Kutcher and Tom Luganbill here with you on ESPN. A great crowd on hand. Players to watch in this game: Tyon Dixon for Colerain, Alex Welch for Elder. 2nd and 7. Tabor again, looking deep. And he overthrows his man, Charles Newell.
They've gotten into a real tendency when they are going to take shots downfield, when they are going to throw the ball deep. It's always to the right, and it's always to the outside receiver. You know, they haven't given a lot for this Elder defense to have to adapt to or adjust to. It's essentially been the same shot, same opportunity time after time.
3rd down and 7 with 5 minutes to go. Again, at the top of your screen, you can see the breakdown of the ESPN 150 top prospects. Tabor now in the shotgun. Throws, connects with Charles Newell. And that is a 15-yard pickup, the first 3rd down conversion of the ball game. 1 for 9 now in this one.
You know, and Greg Tabor almost slipped as he was trying to plant his feet and throw that ball. He ends up completing it and throwing an accurate strike, but he almost goes down in his attempt to deliver it. Outstanding job catching the football, moving the chains there by Charles Newell.
Yeah, 2 receivers right there. Charles Newell and Jordan Fleck. It was Newell who made the catch. 1st and 10. Tabor, pressure applied by Peters, throws it away. And the coaches on the Elder sideline, they want intentional grounding. The receiver in the vicinity was Jordan Fleck. Doug Ramsey was furious on the sideline. 4:36 to go. Off the hands, intended for Tim Sewell. Sets up 3rd down and 10.
You can see the frustration on the sideline. Tom Bolton, the head coach for Colerain, his staff, just kind of shaking their heads in disbelief. Can't connect on anything, can't get anything going. Difficult to get in sync, get in rhythm. And this offense struggled again. You're going to commit to this scheme, and you get behind, it can create some problems for you.
1 for 9 on 3rd down conversions. Their only conversion was their last 3rd down. Tabor to Tyler Williams, who cuts back in, runs into his own man. And he's going to be just short. Brings up 4th down, but you got to go for it here.
You've got to go for it. And again, I talked about how they're always throwing to the right when they do attempt. Now they come back the other way, roll left out of the shotgun. Greg Tabor does a nice job squaring his shoulders, throws a strike, and Williams, their quickest, best player in space, turns it into something after the catch.
4th and 1. You've got your power running back and Trayon Durham in the backfield. Tyler Williams split out wide near side. Hand off to Durham.
First down.
First down. Again, second time they've converted now on 4th down.
And Doug Ramsey on the Elder sideline, the head coach, he's keeping a close eye on that clock. Get the first down, ball spotted, stops the clock. Then it runs on the ready.
Tabor going deep. Nobody's there but purple jerseys and Eric Vogelsang. Sets up second down and 10 with 3:26 to go. Current drive, 11 plays, 48 yards. But it's tough when you can't pass.
Yeah, you can't get any big strikes in the passing game. Can't create any big plays to get that offense off the field, get Elder back on, and then give you enough time to have a second opportunity to score another touchdown.
Looking for Tyler Williams, through the hands and a flag.
Interference, defense, first down.
Don't really need to say much on how this crowd feels.
No, and I don't think Doug Ramsey's inviting the officiating staff over for dinner tonight. Now that calls an awful lot like the call we saw earlier. Colerain defensively committing the pass interference. That was very close in terms of timing. That was a little bit nicky-nack.
No free barbecue for the officials afterwards.
No. No, sir.
First down and 10 with 3:21. The pitch to Williams. Williams looking to pass. And now we'll tuck it and run. Pushed out of bounds by Eric Vogelsang. A pickup of 3.
It's actually a smart play by Tyler Williams. That was going to be a double pass all the way. Didn't like what he saw, and it's very difficult to get the running back not to throw it because it's their opportunity to throw a touchdown pass, but he does a nice job. He had Staines, cornerback, doesn't bite on it. Number 26 there, Brad DePaoli. He does a nice job staying with his target. So Williams tucks it, runs, and gets out of bounds. Smart play.
2nd and 7, the clock stops. Jake Lindsey calling for these fans to get up on their feet. Tabor keeps it. Oh, Eric Vogelsang comes in again. 9th tackle of the game for the senior.
Vogelsang makes a huge play, huge tackle, and most importantly, the tackle is made inbounds, keeps that clock rolling. Tom Bolden, head coach at Colerain, wanted his quarterback to pitch that ball out wide, at least give him an opportunity to get out of bounds.
The pitch to Williams. Williams trying to get outside. There's Jake Fishburne. A pickup of 4.
Justin, that's one thing that has been evident throughout the afternoon has been the run support that has been provided by the corners for Elder. These kids they'll come up, stick their nose in there, have no qualms about being a tackler.
4th and 2. And a timeout is taken by Colerain. 20-7. Elder on top of their rival Colerain. This one's close. We got some more time left. Don't go anywhere. 7 here with 2:32 to go. A big spot in this game, 4th and 2. And the elder defensive coordinator Craig James talking to his team.
Play! One more play! Let's go! Let's go! One more! One more!
Got to dig down deep, Justin. One more play, see what you got left. That's why you go through two-a-days. That's why you sweat. That's why you're tired. That's why you run gassers. To be in this situation and be the team that comes up and makes the play to win the game.
A different formation was set up by Colerain. You had Jake Lust in the backfield with a power I formation. All of a sudden, Elder's like, whoa, wait. We haven't seen that one yet.
That's right. Sit back, call timeout, make sure that if you see something that you haven't prepared for, that first and foremost, you are aligned correctly on defense, particularly with the triple option element to Colerain's offense. You cannot afford to be out of position, particularly on 4th down.
4th down, 2 to go. If you're Colerain, I think Elder's expecting the run. Do you take a look at the end zone? Do you take that shot?
I don't think so. Just because of the lack of inexperience in the passing game, the lack of productivity we've seen here today in the passing game. The shorter the throw, the better. If you're going to throw it short. If you're going to throw the bubble screen or the toss or what have you, I think this thing stays on the ground.
4th and 2 from the 15. Jake Lust in there with Joe Bolden. Durham gets the handoff and is stood up by DePoli. And I think we're going to get a measurement. Jake Lindsey made the initial contact. He was helped out by Brian Riestenberg and Brad DePoli. Craig James said one play. There are a lot of highlights, but only one Gatorade G moment.
See the big defensive stop seals the game potentially here with a little under 2.5 minutes to go for Elder as the Panthers come back on offense.
Robert Williams and Adam Brown. Handoff to Brown. Brown stays on his feet. What a second effort by the 5'8", 165-pound senior. Picks up 7 on 1st down.
Again, the ability to run the ball when you want to. Everybody talks about running it when you have to. Sometimes you got to just be able to line up and say, hey, we're running on this play and we're going to do it. Everybody in the stadium knows it, and we're still going to do it.
Handoff to Brown again. Gets one more. 3rd and 2. Timeout taken by Colerain. Want to stop the clock at 1:39. We're at the point now where we're running the ball. Elder is trying to take time off the clock, but Mark Miller, he's our Old Spice player of the game. 19 for 26, 214 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And you see they're not responsible for any turnovers. See the big throw in the back of the end zone. Selby Chademo, number 1, is go-to guy. And then Tim O'Connor, the verbal commitment to Indiana, goes up in a contested matchup, pulls the ball out of the air. But with Mark Miller, it's all about good decisions. Never put his team in a hole, led the offense, does what's asked of him, moves the chains.
Knock it off.
3rd and 2. Big play right here. First down, game over. The Colerain fans, they came here to watch this team. This team made it interesting, but now they're saying, all right, 139, down by 13, 3rd and 2. It's time to beat the traffic.
All the little residential streets surrounding the pit here. It's not an easy place to get out of.
Hand off to Brown. Brown again with that second effort. Picks up the first down. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series heads back south for Labor Day weekend. Only 2 races remain for Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, and Mark Martin to get off the bubble and into the chase. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Atlanta. Coverage begins tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN with NASCAR Countdown. Telecast presented by Pennzoil.
How about Mark Miller completing 73% of his passes on the day? Coach Doug Ramsey, head coach and offensive coordinator, has got to be really pleased with his effort today.
Colerain does have 1 timeout left. Hand off to Brown. At this point, 2 hands on the ball. Bullies his way up to the 37-yard line, to the 32-yard line. First down again. It's even better when you win and you don't pay for a ticket.
Absolutely. They probably got free food up there, too. That's where I'm headed.
What an environment for high school football. Elder got on the board first with a field goal. A 22-yard field goal back in the first quarter. Hand off to Brown. And Brown doing his job here in the fourth quarter. Running out the clock, keeping possession of the football. And Elder, who came in number 3, will move to 2-0 on the season.
And this will end up being, once this clock runs out, just the 10th loss that Colerain has sustained since the year 2000. Pretty remarkable run.
And their second this season, they fall to 0-2. Elder gets the big win over their crosstown rival, Colerain, by the score of 20-7 here on this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, hard-fought matchup on behalf of both teams. One team obviously made fewer errors than the other. Elder played a cleaner football game, made some more plays, won the field position battle, and also played smarter.
There was a battle between purple and red. Purple won 20-7. Elder on top of Colerain. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Coming up next, college football scoreboard. We'll go back to Kevin Nagandi and Robert Smith and our ESPN studio.